Okay, so this story is a recap of what it was like to grow up with an alcoholic dad, and also a flashback to the 1980s in a small town and what it was like, getting through the summer using new technology like Atari and all of that. So picture it, Hopewell, Virginia, in the 1980s. It's the summertime. It's a weekday. Four kids, bored out of their minds. There's not a lot to do back then. There's no internet. I don't even know if we had cable. If we did, basic cable. But we did have an Atari. I don't know how we afforded it. We weren't wealthy. I think we were probably poor. But we did have an Atari. So we spend much of the day playing video games. The Atari game system was a console and a bunch of cartridges. Plugged into the game console, which was hooked up to the family TV. And it had a switch in the back of the TV that you could switch between game and TV without having to disconnect the game, which was pretty involved because back then there was like 1,000 cords and connectors, and I think screwdrivers were involved too somehow. So it was a big deal. This day, parents were away. Mom was a nurse, so she was at work, as she often was. And daddy was either at work, he was an iron worker, or he was out drinking, probably out drinking, especially considering what happens in the rest of the story. And so when we left that day to go to the movies, all four of us drove off to the movies. I don't know who had the car, but we left. We did not switch the switch on the back of the TV to TV. We left it on game. And so when our dad came home, he didn't know about the switch, or he was too drunk to remember the switch. But anyway, he wanted to watch TV. And so he ripped the game console off of the TV and threw it out the door from the front porch, I'm guessing. As well as, I guess to put a cherry on top, all of our game cartridges after stomping on them and smashing them. And so when we came home, again, we lived at the end of a dead-end street, and so our neighbors would know we were coming home. Back then, if a car came down the street, you looked out the window. That's just what you did. I think people were bored. They didn't have the internet. They weren't on social media because it didn't exist back then. So you saw a car, you went and looked out the window, especially if you lived on a dead-end street. And especially if your friends and neighbors were coming home to a disaster like we were. So Karen and Joni, our neighbors, saw us coming. They had collected the remains of the Atari console and cartridges, and they gingerly approached across the front yard so as not to draw attention from Daddy, and gave them to us. And we're like, oh no, this sucks because it probably doesn't work anymore. And also, oh boy, what are we about to face when we came inside? I mean, Daddy never really hit us, but he was a scary, scary drunk. And so we went inside. I'm guessing he was asleep because I don't remember what happened. We probably tiptoed past him and went to our rooms and left him sleeping on the sofa. But I can tell you that that Atari worked afterwards. I mean, kudos to Atari for making almost indestructible technology back then. But it all worked, including the cartridges, many of which weren't cartridges anymore, but were just computer chips that plugged in and worked. And I can also tell you that from then on, whenever we left the house, each one of the Lasky kids probably quadruple checked to be sure that the switch in the back was switched to TV so that we did not have to live through that again. So we laughed about it for years afterwards. I don't know if we ever told our dad that story, and if we did, what his reaction was. But it was funny back then, and it still is sort of funny. If it were to happen today, the father probably would be taken away by Department of Child Welfare or something. But back then, I mean, that's just what happened in probably every household in Hopewell, Virginia, and all the other similar towns. So there you go.